This is problem number 10 from the June 2014 Algebra Regents exam. In this question, we're trying to find the roots of this equation, and we can see based on the four possible solutions, we're clearly going to have to use the quadratic equation. And that, of course, is being negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Once you do this enough times, you can definitely memorize that formula. Anyway, we can see here that our a value is 1, our b value is positive 4, and our c value is negative 16. And it's always helpful to write those out just so to help you make less mistakes. Okay, so negative b, that's going to be negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that's 4 squared, minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Alright, if we solve what's inside the square root symbol, we get 80 over 2. Now what we have to do is convert the root 80, kind of have to simplify it or turn it into a mixed radical. Let's do that over on the side here. So in order to do this, we're going to look for a factor of 80 that's a perfect square, like 4, 9, 16, and so on. And although 4 is a factor of 80, 16 is as well. So it would make more sense to use the greatest factor, which is 16. So anyways, the square root of 80 is the same thing as the square root of 16 times 5. And we can think of that as being the same thing as the square root of 16 times the square root of 5. And of course, the square root of 16 is simply 4. So root 80 is the same thing as 4 root 5. Now that we've figured that out, we can kind of replace it over here. So instead of root 80, I'm going to write 4 root 5. And this is going to be helpful because now we can divide both of these terms in the numerator by 2. And so we'll get negative 4 over 2, that becomes negative 2, plus or minus, and then 4 divided by 2 is, of course, 2. And so this is the solution we're looking for. Negative 2 plus or minus 2 root 5, and we can see that matches solution number 2 here, or option number 2. Alright, and that's all for this video. Hope it was helpful, and thanks for visiting JD's Regents Preparation.